Hi all, welcome back to Lee Valley and Engage. I'm Stu, and we really need a buffer stop for this this head shunt here. And what I've been doing is I've been having a look at it, and I'm thinking of a way of using one of these PECO set track buffer stops. So what we're going to do is that for this video, I'm going to show you how how I've changed this PECO buffer stop from this to this. So let's see how I did it. So this project is all about this. This is the PECO buffer stop. It's produced in N and AA gauges, and it is a very basic little thing. It's very solid as well. It actually just slots onto the track. So this is where the rails come through this side. If you can see that there, there's two holes. And then on the other side, you can see again another two holes where the rails slot through there. And also you've got a space for the coupling as well. So the buffers will actually touch, buffers of the wagon or coach or loco will touch that actual piece of wood there, the buffer bin. So that's what it is. Unfortunately, there doesn't actually seem to be any real prototype for these buffers. I think one has been made on the Nîmes Valley Railway, which was actually inspired by this, because someone said there's been no prototype, so someone decided to make one just because. Why not? So that's one. That's one thing. So they aren't particularly prototypical. One thing I have noticed is that there are a few of these, or a few buffer stops shaped like this, made out of concrete, that I've seen on the Great Eastern Railway areas. I think I've seen one at Yarmouth, Great Yarmouth, on the way out of Great Yarmouth. Possibly one of the head shunts for the carriage sidings or dock sidings or something. There's one actually on a head shunt at Broxbourne, which is which actually is a good reason as to why it's there, because the other side of this is a river coming off the River Lee for a mill, so it's basically right next to a bridge. So it's very similar to how it is going to be on my one. So really all we need to do with this is molded to make it look like sleepers. So all we need to do is, as you can see, we've got the perfect plastic putty out from Deluxe Materials. So we're going to use this to fill these holes in, to fill all these sides in, make it nice and smooth. And then also we've got to smooth out the top as well, where we've got the file as well. We're just going to file down these little sawtooth edge on the side, and just make that nice and ready for it. So let's get started on cleaning all this up. We'll get the putty out and we'll prep. Sorry about that. And we'll start prepping. This. Okay, so the first thing we need to do with this is we need to prep it all and get it ready for the putty to go onto it. So we need to make sure we've got a nice smooth surface. So what I've noticed is there is a pip here from the moulding. So we're just going to get that off. If it's going to come off. I apologise for the picture, by the way. I'm using a tripod that's only got two legs. As the one before broke, so as one of the legs broke. So if there is wobbles, that's the reason why. So I'm just going to get that file down as well, just to make sure that's nice and. There we go. The pip's gone, so we can use that. So the aim is not to actually fill these two holes in, the rail holes, if I want to put it like that. This section here, I'm not too sure. I might leave that as well, just for the coupling. So we'll leave that too. Seems to be a couple of areas here, so we're just going to give it a little rub down some of these bits, just to make sure we've got. Just using a file here, just to smooth it down a little bit. At this point I discover I probably won't need the putty at all, and I can actually just smooth it down like this. We've also got the weird sort of stain here. I'm not sure what that is. It might be some glue, because some of these I've had for a very long time, so it's very possible that some of these have got staining or different things on them. This is probably actually going to work in such a way that I don't actually need the putty, and I just opened it, so that's good. So there we go. Just a bit of dust on there. Let's get rid of that. Okay, so that's all ready to go from the looks of it. So I think the first thing I might do is just trim, probably even more filing now, is just, let's just get rid of these sawtooth edges. We're a fairly boring video, to be honest, because I'm not particularly going to be saying much. There you go. Apologies, there seems to be some people arguing outside, I don't know why. So sorry if you can hear that. I don't know if it's going to pop up on the thing. So that's nice and smoothed down now. So what we're now going to do is just smooth it over with the putty. I've not actually used this before. I've literally just opened it, so this is literally my first time ever using it. I've got a knife here to use as a spreader. I think this is actually supposed to be a spreading type knife anyway. So here we go. This is going to be a new experience for all of us. So just going to squeeze it out. It's probably going to come out in a big dollop, knowing the way things work. Quite a long nozzle, actually. I think it's coming down. Trying to squeeze slowly because I'm worried that I'm just going to coat. It's still just going to go as it comes out. I don't know if you can even see this. Man, that stick stuff. Okay, so it is. It is actually coming down the tube. That's good. Right. Do apologise as well. I haven't got actually a micro function on my camera. This is actually on my phone. I'm filming this all with. Fortunately, I haven't got a macro setting on it. Well, not one that I found anyway. So I apologise for that. This is probably not going to be very good detail of it. Man, this is stiff stuff. Coming from model railway videos and just see some guy squishing some stuff out of the tube. But there we go. So there we are. So I'm just going to use that for the moment. Calls it putty, so I'm not sure how this is going to smooth out, but we'll see. Oh, okay, that's pretty good then. So all that's going to be is just very simply just this. fill the sides. So yeah, so that's basically what this part of the video is going to be. So perhaps we'll speed things up a bit here, shall we? Okay, so we've done this. We managed to get all this nicely coated with the filler. Top was a little bit of a pain. I might have to redo some bits on that. So now I'm just going to file it down, and hopefully it will come out nice and smooth. And then what we're going to do afterwards, we're just going to give it a paint, some Tamiya paint, acrylic paint it says, but it seems to not come off with water. So yeah, so that's what we're going to do now. Just see how it looks. So all it is just simply just filing it off. I assume it's now nice and dry, so yeah, it seems nice and smoothish. Okay, it seems as if some of the top is still actually slightly wet, so that probably wasn't the best of ideas. But it's a little bit smoother. Okay, so the top wasn't fully dry, so that part didn't work, but this look okay. So let's try that again. You can see it seems to come out pretty well on some of these bits. So it seems to be okay actually. Not better than I thought it was going to actually. Thought I was going to have some real scuffy bits, but it seems to have come out pretty well. Probably ruined my file in the first place, but anyway. I'll probably get loads of comments about that now. It's not too bad overall. It's just going to see what it looks like. It'll be interesting to see what it looks like when it's painted, but I think quite a lot of that seems to have come out okay. I'm quite proud of that. Quite happy about that. So now all I need to do is just let it dry a bit more. I might add a bit more actually onto the back of this, and then all we need to do is paint it. So yeah, that's the next stage really. Okay, so managed to sort out this now. It's actually okay now. I need to scrape off a few bits. There's a little bit here actually that I didn't notice. Anyway, there we go. So that's what it looks like now. So what we're going to do is we're literally just going to, which is rather handy with this little bit here, just going to paint it, really. So we're going to use this Tamiya grey. It's supposed to be like a light grey, but it always comes up as a dark grey, which is useful for certain things. So we're just going to use this. Just see what it looks like at the end. Although I can actually see the annotations of the I think I can still see the actual wood poking through that. So that's not great, really, but at least this will give me a small base coat so we can work from there forward. So yeah, it's just a very simple matter of just painting this all up, and then yeah, so that's basically what we're going to do now, paint this all up. Okay, as you can see, I've now finished painting it all in a grey. And it doesn't look too bad actually. It's, if you have a look at it, if I can show it up to the camera, if it will actually focus onto it, you can still see it. But the interesting thing is that the way it's looking like, it kind of looks like shuttering, which is quite cool. Like on concrete, you will get a like a ghost of the actual shuttering that's on it, which is pretty good. I quite like that. Some of the other stuff we can probably deal with some weathering powders, or not weathering powders. I've never used weathering powders. Just a bit of weathering, but it doesn't look too bad actually. So what we're going to do now is that sort of stuff actually I can deal with when we're when after it's installed. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to paint this buffer beam here. Now what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to paint it two colours. So we're going to have this 94 colour. We're going to use that as a sort of like a wood colour on here. And then just on each buffer beam, where the buffers are, there's usually a little white splodge. So I'm just going to paint a little white splodge on each end as well. We'll do the buffer beam colour first, and hopefully once that's dried, we can then do the white. So that's what we're going to do. So let's get this mixed up, and we can then go from there. I think they're both acrylics. That mixed up quite nicely actually. Although that looks very much a different colour to what it looks like in the lid. Okay, I might need to add a little bit of white to that then. I think I need to do. So what I'm going to do is, while that is sitting there like that, I just need to grab a bit of card, so I'm just going to be back in a minute. Okay, I managed to get a bit of card, so we're just going to mix up some of this paint on here. It's going to mix a bit of white into it. I just want to make it a tiny bit lighter than what it actually is. I have a feeling it's not going to come off very well, so let's try and scrape some of that off. We'll reseal that. We'll use the white now. Got to open this anyway, so it's kind of a well, you ask, no, I'm not going to use the same one. Yep, so yeah, now let's wipe this one off. Come back to that in a minute. I'm going to try and tone these down actually with some weathering as well. So this is just to give. Sorry, I didn't realise you actually couldn't see that at all. So I was just adding some. I was just adding a bit of this on. So we're just going to do this now. The top part and do the sides as well. Try and get a round, all round bit. Just got to do this side as well. Is a fairly warm day today, so hopefully that will dry out pretty quick. Meantime, I'm just going to stick the paintbrush in the honey jar. It's not, well, it's not honey, it's actually just water, but just to clean the brush off. So yeah, so what we're going to do now is just going to wait for that to dry, and then once that is dry, which it might be fairly soon actually, we're just going to then add these little white things on it, and then we can weather it again, weather it at a different point, probably when I do some track weathering as well. Let's just have a look to see if this is. That's basically dry already. That's crazy. I haven't edited this or put a pause on this at all. This is literally just how quickly it's drying at the moment today. So it's going to put a couple of squares on each end. That's basically it. It's literally, that's all that is. So that's the finished, it's effectively the finished buffer stop. So I don't know what you think of that. I think that looks pretty okay. It just needs a couple of bits of tidying up, like on the top here, we need to re-tidy all of that out. Might need another little coat of the grey at some point. So I might just touch those up before I attach it to the layout. But yeah, so that's how to turn a little PECO buffer stop into a little concrete into a concrete one. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this sort of little bits of video of just actual proper modelling, not really the track laying and stuff. Please let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this, if there's any other things you'd like me to try and do, or if there's anything things I could improve with this. Please let me know. I'll be very happy to hear your comments. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.